Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, let's see. I don't know if this is live yet or not. There it is. All right, good morning. You record. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the first swing trade room of February. It is Market Monday, so we're live streaming on YouTube as well. So we're going to rock that out for everybody who is in YouTube world with us. For everybody in our actual trade room, it's just February, baby. So we're doing something new here in February. Let me do this real quick. Um, we're gonna do something new in February. A couple things. It's cold, so I'm in my hoodie. We call it our cozy. So I'm in my coziest hoodie. I've had this thing since college. It's awesome. Two things that we're gonna do in February. If you want to join us, we're gonna add this to our enhanced membership, and that is gonna be it's February. So I was thinking fun alliteration would be great. Get Fit February. So we're gonna do like a workout challenge. I don't care what you do, what kind of workout you do. I'm gonna be doing old school insanity. So I'm gonna do insanity, and then for my cardio, and then add some like weight training to it. My goal actually is to drop about 5 to 10 pounds. And so, or 5 is great. If I can drop 5 in a month, I'd be really happy, especially in a healthy way. 10 would be ideal. Like that would be like super duper target. And then, Shamila, are you still in here? Are you back in here with us? Shamila said she's doing something crazy. I would listen to her. She and her husband are crazy fit. Um, and so what do you do? What are you doing, Shamila? What's it called? High Rocks. I don't know what it is. She said she sent it to me on Instagram. I haven't looked at it yet. So go check it out. Can you drop a link in here to everybody? She'll drop a link in here if she can to everybody if y'all want to do that. Thank you. So again, I just want you to be healthy. And so whether that's walking, like if you don't do any exercise and you want to walk every day for, 500, 1,000 steps, whatever, like I don't care what you do. I just want you to be healthy. There's also another reason to it. Ideally, try to do it before you're trading, especially if you're in the day trade room with us at 9:30 every day. Try to do it before that because it releases your energy. And so if you come in and you're nervous, you're anxious, you've got all this pent up energy, you're drinking too much coffee out of your Neo swag cup. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? You're drinking too much coffee out of your swag cup. You're going to be amped and excited, kind of like I am right now because I've had too much coffee. But if you can do some type of exercise and release that energy, it's actually going to help your mind think more clearly when you're looking at a chart. And that's what we want you to do. Number two is primarily for us future traders in the day trading room. It's going to be Get Funded February. And so a lot of you guys are using prop firms. If you want to do that, great. I know Apex is having a killer sale right now as well. And it's like 90% off. I'm trying to get like a code to send you to get that. But worst case scenario, you can just go use the one on the website. If you follow our trades in our trading room, my goal is to get you funded by following those trades every single day. All you got to do is make $150 a day. Today, we ended up making over $162 just on one-to-one call outs. That does not include our runners. I'm up well over 400 per account right now. So had a great day this morning on those. Does that make sense? Good job, Richard. Shoulders, triceps, shoulders. There you go. Chest, shoulder, tries. I like it. I like it. So one of the things we want to do here in Neos, man, I want you to have like a complete whole life. We want you to be sound financially. Obviously, that's why we teach you trading, but we also want you to be sound spiritually, mentally, relationally, physically, like enjoy your life that God has given you. Does that make sense? And then if you want a pro tip on that, start every day with thankfulness and gratitude. I was actually reading in Psalms today, Psalm 51. It's the real famous Psalm of David where he's broken because the prophet came to him with Bathsheba. And it says, you don't delight in sacrifice, but a broken and contrite heart you do. And if you read Psalm 50, 51, 52, they kind of come together because there's a theme that continually comes over where he delights in your thanksgiving, your offering of thanksgivings, and your gratitude. And so we preach gratitude up in here. We preach gratitude up in here. So having said that, y'all ready to rock and roll today? Let's dive into it. Look at our toss account. Thinkorswim here. Huge day on the markets. Beautiful move up, breaking the 69.96 high, reaching up, trying to get back into 7,000 again. I don't know if we're going to do it. Let's go ahead and move this all-time high up because we broke that last week. That's our fresh all-time high. I do want to have these wicks marked out, though. Do want to have those wicks. That's going to be probably a weekly high. Let's go ahead and make this a weekly high. I would imagine from here, we're going to go bust all-time highs. We've got big tech earnings again this week. I think we're probably going to go up and bust those highs. Let's see if that plays out. Looking at the market on a quarterly basis, today's important. Today's a really important day because it's the first time that we disconnect and disentangle from the month and quarter. So the quarterly chart's going to start looking like it's on bar now compared to what it looks like on the monthly chart. So because we have a new month being February. So right now, quarterly looks fantastic. When we look at the monthly chart, you can see we've got an initial huge move up in February. Good close from the buyers here in January. I don't see why we're not going to go break highs. And then from a weekly standpoint, we had that little bit of a pullback in January. That made me nervous because we took out this 68.24 area on the weekly. So we took out the 68.24 area on the weekly. That put us in a potential transition on the weekly, but the bigger picture uptrend was still intact. You know, like if we go from here to here, extend to the right, you'll see low, pick that low up, almost pick this wick up, did pick up this wick and body, picked up that wick, and we closed above there. Had we closed that week lower, right? And this is when Trump came in with the Greenland talks, like, hey, we're not going to invade Greenland by force. We got that huge push up on the 21st and then the gap up on the 22nd. Had we closed this week lower, I would have been a lot more hesitant to get bullish trades. But right now, it looks really strong. This looks really strong. We got the Dow up over 437 points right now. This looks fantastic. Going to try to push into 49.6. I would be shocked if we don't try to get to 50,000 in the next, I'd say probably by the end of the month. Monthly looks fantastic. Quarterly is going to look great. Buyers in control on every time frame. I love this week. If Mark could have his way, I would love us to close bullish Harami on the week. All right, so we've got a Harami from last week. We held the low. Nice move up this week. If we could close just like this, kind of chop the rest of the week, and then trigger higher, this could be an easy entry off the diamonds for a move up into 50,000. So let's see how this actually closes. I doubt we do because we have huge earnings and some news events coming up. NASDAQ, a little shocked this morning we didn't get to this 25.8, and I'll show you why on QQQ in just a second. A little shocked we didn't get to that 25.8 and break that high. Not a fan of this inverted hammer on the weekly. Not a fan of that. I would not be shocked to see it drop, and if it drops, that'll drag the S&P lower. But we've got Google earnings and Amazon earnings both this week. If those are good, I would bet we go into all-time highs. Let's remove some of these dotted levels. I would bet we get up into 26,182. And again, we decoupled from the quarterly. Quarterly still haramied, right? So the S&P broke highs. Dow broke highs. Russell has broken highs. We haven't done that yet on the NASDAQ. You can see January, almost this double doji sandwich look. We break this high, we could easily jump up into 27,000. Again, this would require us seeing some type of movement in big tech. All right. Going over here to the Russell. Broke new all-time highs. Good pullback, good hold right now. This looks pretty good. One more sideways day. I know we have a lot of banks with earnings this week. One more sideways day like this and get a trigger or follow through, I could look to get long the Russell into 27. In fact, let's go ahead and look at that. Quarterly looks fantastic. We're at all-time highs. Monthly, great move up with a little bit of a pullback here. Weekly chart holding that 25,995, 2,600 in this previous high. I love that structure. That's really pretty. The only thing I don't like is that we took out this pullback low. We took out that pullback low. So let's watch that one. I like this though. This is strong. Diving into this 30-minute, you can see we're trying to get a 30-minute trigger. We don't quite have one yet. What we want to see on that is we got to break our downtrend, right? So we broke a high here, no EMA cross. There's your low, lower high, broke a low, lower high, broke a low, lower high, higher low, broke a high, trying to retest a high. Pull back and rally here. We get a fresh trigger around 2640. There's our stop at 2595. Get that run up into 2700 plus. That could be a really nice little setup. If we get this trigger, we're risking about 1.8%, trying to come to extend the trend at 3.42. That's not a bad risk reward at all. That's like a almost 1 to 2. The watch list is the one that we sent out last night, Deborah. So we use our weekly watch list. We send this out on Sunday nights. You should have got it last night. In fact, it was sent out. What's up, Ant? Look at Anthony coming in both meetings. Coming in both meetings, buddy. I like it. We sent this email out at 5:05 p.m. last night. I had to go get Kate from the airport. She had a girls' weekend trip. Her and her girls, they all went to Florida. A little beach time. It's also our 13th anniversary today. Yeah, 13 years today. After this, I got to go get tons of flowers and all the things. But she's also coming off a girls' trip, so I'm hoping she's good. Let's watch the Russell here. I like this for a move. I'm going to go ahead and add this to kind of an end-of-day look. What I want to do is if we take this trade on the Russell, I'd like to take it with IWM. The reason I want to take it with IWM, there's a lot more things we can do in IWM is the ETF that follows the Russell, okay? So this is the one that follows the Russell. You can see it looks exactly the same because it follows tick for tick. So again, if you wanted to trade the Russell and you take this, thank you guys so much. Look at all that. Look at all this. Congrats. Thank y'all. I know there's people in here who've been married for probably as long as I've been alive. Y'all are my heroes. To me, that's winning at life. So here you've got about 2% risk to make 3.44 at the moment. So really nice risk reward on this at the moment. You can also trade this with options. So if we jump over here, you know, we can go out to at least February, at least. Let's drop this option chain. 20. 265. What's our high here? By the way, you're trying to get a 15-minute hammer set up on the ES for you day traders. $271. 270's got good OI. 260 has great OI. It's my stop. 257. This would be a really aggressive credit spread going 18 days out. We'll look at it. I'd rather go out to March. Now, the reason I want to do The reason I want to go out to March is it's going to give us enough time. I'm not a huge fan of the weeklies on IWM, but if you look at your open interest, I mean, you got thousands, if not tens of thousands, open interest. So, I mean, there's plenty of open interest here you can do. We can go out to March here. Let me delete some of these guys. We can go out to March here and pay the exact same amount for a little bit lower time frame. We'll analyze that and see how it looks. If you're interested in learning about debit spreads and credit spreads, we are going to have a intro Thursday at 5. Thursday at 5 p.m. We're going to have a little free, hey, this is what they are, how you use them, a little bit of intro to it. Here's that follow through. You are going to trigger off that 15-minute, by the way, on the ES. This is 12-point risk at the moment. If I see a 5-minute setup, I'll let you guys know. If I see a 5-minute setup, I'll let you know. Right now, I don't have one. I wouldn't mind taking an option day trade. I like that. Let's go to our debit spread. Well, we got 57. Let's go to 55s. What's our target? 70 is our target. See if that closes Doji sandwich for me, Ofinger. So if we do 55 by 70, we're trading at 62. 55 by 70 off the call debit spreads about 850. That's going to be probably theta positive. Let's go out into April for our calls. I know that's a long way away. We'll do the 255s for April and March. I just want to give us some ample time on these. We'll see how that time plays in. All right, let's analyze these credit spreads first. So our front month, February. Anytime you hear me say the word front month, that is this current month. That is this current month. All right. So we're selling the puts here. Twyla, we're not buying puts, we're selling puts. All right. So actually, technically, Karen said the girls' trip was for her birthday, anniversaries edition. I know, it was a birthday gift. I tried to do it on her actual birthday, and the girls couldn't make it work. Let's put our stop up. We've got 257. Let's call this 257 even, and we'll go to 270. So we'll go a little bit lower, a little bit higher, 270, 280. We'll do 275, 280. We'll do 275, 280. How about that? All right, so this is what we're looking at. Worst case scenario on this, what we want to do is make her lose about 70 bucks. We're only losing 80. If we get to target, we're making our money. That looks great. Now, let's jump this out to the 13th. We're losing 97. If we go sideways, we're making money. If we hit targets, we're in great shape. All right, so that's fine. Let's go to next month. This is going to look a lot better, by the way. So this is going to look better because we're actually at our stop loss versus being a little in the money. So if I'm wrong to tomorrow on this, I lose 48 bucks. That's awesome. If I hit target, I'm making 50. I still am trying to make 70. Here's the good part. If this goes to this Friday, if it takes to this Friday, nothing really changes here for me. If it goes to the 13th, I'm still losing about 50 bucks, but I'm making a little bit more as we're going sideways. If this goes to expiration, I hit my target without ever hitting my stop. I like that. I like that. So I like this March instead of February. You could do either one. Let's look at our debit spread here. It's about 850 bucks. Let's make that a round number. We're risking 850. Of that on our stop, we're losing 169. That's a 19% loss. That's not terrible. You're making more at your first target. Let's say this goes to the 13th. Let's say it takes 2 weeks to get there. All right, so we're 1-to-1 on the 13th. The only downside here is you're increasing that risk. Now, if this pops and goes to 170, which is our previous high, and everything, we're in way better shape, right? So we're risking about 23%. Not terrible for an option. What's great about this, let's say it goes the 20th. If we just go sideways for the next 15 days, look at this. You're only losing $19. This is one of the reasons I love these. And we're at target, we're still 1-to-1. Let's go to calls. This is out into April. If we're wrong, we're losing 340. 1545. We're losing 22%. That's not bad. That's about what we've got on the debit spread. It just costs double, right? So you can't scale it as easy if you have a smaller account. If we go to the 20th, watch this. Now we're losing 477. You've got to be right on these. And if we go sideways, we're down 120. Whereas if we go sideways on the debit spread, we're actually making money. Make sense? So for me, I'm going to stick with the debit spread, credit spread here. I'm going to stick with the debit spread, credit spread here. Let's see if we end up getting a trigger on this on IWM. If we do get a trigger here, I like this hammer. If we do get a trigger here, then I'd look to add that. Big news last week was gold. Gold and silver got crushed. Huge drop. This was down 21%. What was funny, I saw a meme and it was like, gold's at 5,000. And this was like, gold's at 5,000 on 122 and everybody's throwing a party. And then it's like, gold's at 5,000 on 130 and everybody's like burning buildings, freaking out, all the things. It's all relative in the pullback, right? Silver is the one that got hit the hardest. And there's a lot of talk that this pullback was from JP Morgan. There's a lot of talk this big pullback was from JP Morgan. But again, that was expected. Was this not expected? Didn't we kind of talk about this? Right? Didn't I tell you guys, like, take some gains, move your stop up. We hit 100. Take some gains. We hit 120. Take some gains, right? Move your stops up. Because we went parabolic. Anytime that you see something rally 153%, you're going to get a major drop. And so the question is, what is your risk appetite for that? Like, if you're not okay with this thing dropping 41%, right? If you're not okay with a 41% drop, you don't need to be in this now. Because this could hold this level. Like, my hope here is that we hold this level. We go sideways a day or two and bounce and retest 100 to 120. That's my hope. Is that what's going to happen? No idea. But that's what Mark hopes happens. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to wait, be patient, and find out. But that is the hope. Bitcoin continuing to struggle. Here. So we talked about this in our day trade room just a little bit. We actually got long Bitcoin / IBIT because we saw this transition, right? There's your downtrend, move up, higher low, broke a high, pull back. Look, we were looking for this move up into 100, 105, 110. And so we ended up taking this position right here around 93.8. On IBIT, we hit our first target, moved our stop loss up, right? We hit a first target. I think we were risking 3.5 and we made 4 or something like that. IBIT, we made like 4 or 5%. And then our stop loss was like down here. Like our stop was right here at 6% ish. If you didn't stop out of this, you were down 20% today. You're currently down 15. And so the difference here is losing 5 versus 15. That's a drastic difference, team. That's a drastic difference. For me to get back to 5%, I only have to make 5.5 or 6. For me to recover from 15%, I actually have to make 20. Y'all see that? Y'all understand that? Like this is, we show this on every like promo that we run. We show risk reward, right? Anytime we do any kind of teaching, we show this. But I'm gonna pull it back up because it's worth seeing. It would be helpful if I pulled it in the right category. So like right here. So right here, just watch. If I only lose 5, for me to get back to even, I got to make 5.3. That's easy, man. We do that every day. If I lose 15, I got to get back to almost 18%. That's a little bit harder task. That's probably 3 or 4 trades, right? Now, if you're buy and hold forever or buy and hold for a long time, you're okay there. But if you're breaking structure, that's a completely different story. Y'all with me? And so what happens is we start to lose money and we're like, man, I can't lose this much. And when we think I can't lose this much, it just keeps dropping. And you're like, I can't lose this much. And then you get to a pain threshold and you're like, I can't bear to lose anymore. And it's usually around this percentage level, like you're down 50, 60, 70%. And you're like, okay, fine, I'll just get out. You get out, and then you're getting out at the bottom. And that's when the thing actually turns at like a quarterly or monthly level. And then it rallies and you're like, this is rigged. You just don't use trade management. So to me, this is a perfect example of that. Did we get in this? Yes. Did we make our bigger targets? No. We made our risk. That was our risk right there. 1-to-1. Boom. Took profits, tried to move our stop to even. This happened on the weekend, so we missed it. Now, if you're trading Bitcoin, this would have got you out. But I bet we missed it. We ended up stopping out down here. Ended up being a little bit of a break-even trade. But I mean, my gosh, worst case scenario, you took some off the table at 4. There's your risk at 3.5. Let's say you lost 5. That's way better than losing 15. All right. Off the soapbox. IBRX almost came into a target today. Like this came like crazy close to our first target. And you're like, that's not close. Market needed an extra 20 cents. I know, but still, that was like a good pop. A little 8% jump this morning. We're not quite to that 1-to-1. We wanted that right around 696 as our 1-to-1. I still like this. This looks great. Not a fan of the inverted hammer, but I'd love to see buyers step in here, which is what we're seeing. If we can push back up into 650, 675, close up here, and then get one more bump tomorrow, take some of these profits off the table, we're good to go. We're good to go. That would be like ideal scenario for me. Ideal scenario. Where are we at here? Heads up. This is what we're looking like on the indices. We're 2 hours into the day, big, beautiful, bullish engulfing, kind of a hammer. We break this high and this doji, not it's not a doji, but this hammer harami here on the NASDAQ, we break that. The target on the NASDAQ is 823. That breaks yesterday's high. If we can get a double break here, I think we run up into 7. This hits this break of yesterday's high, and I was going to show you all this. The Qs go engulfing on the day. So the target for the buyers right here on the day is 68.26. So you've got $1.26 to go here. If we get that follow through break, that's where you want to get. That's what they're shooting for. All right. But IBRX looks great. Allstate also looks fantastic. I took some profits on who's made money on this one? Who's made money on this? Howie, we're going to go over risk reward when we do our onboarding for TOS. When we do the onboarding for TOS, we'll go over some risk reward stuff. That's like one of the biggest requests that we actually get all the time. All right, y'all closed out Friday with it being earnings this week. So earnings here is 2/4. When is it? Is it end of day or first of day? Aftermarket on the 4th. Today is the 2nd. So we've got 2 days here. Is that right? So this is where we're at. Aftermarket, we got 2 days. Honestly, today's not a bad day. You could try to give it till tomorrow. But you hit your target. We hit our risk reward. This is what we wanted to see. Now, could this come up into 210, 213? Sure, for sure. And this got great momentum. Like we've finally got momentum. I took most of this off today. I think I took 60% off today. So I've got like 40% of my position left. I may take the rest, I may drop down and take another 20% off by the end of the day, see what happens tomorrow. I'd love to close over 201. If we look back at this, number one, it's a channel and it's got this weekly uptrend with it. But look at this current 201 zone. Let's go back to the daily. We'll jump out to a 1-year view. Hit it, failed, hit it, failed, hit it, went sideways, rallied, support, back into it, resistance, almost in it, hit it, went sideways a couple days, hit it, went sideways. So we hit it today. I'm not going to be shocked to see this go sideways a couple days. Well, if we go sideways a couple days, now you're at earnings, and that throws a wrench into everything, right? So let's just watch this, see what happens. Walmart, we never took a position here, but I wish we would have. This is ripping. Did not take a position here. This looks great. Did anybody grab Walmart here? Anybody get Walmart? Good question. So Deborah says, when you say take off, what does that mean? So rarely do I ever trade something with a single share or a single contract, Deborah. And so what I mean by that is, like when we got in here, let's say you bought 10 shares, right? This comes up into target, boom, you've hit your 1-to-1. You need to take some of these shares off, right? Because that would be risking 1960 just to make life easy. So let's say I took 5 of these off the table right at 200. And so now I've got 5 shares left. I reduce my risk. I can move my stop to break even and let the rest of this thing run. Does that make sense? Are you with me on that? Yeah. So that's what I'm talking about right there. All right. So that's what I'm looking for here. Personally, like if I had 10, I've taken 6 off. I may drop that to 8 and only have 2 to see what happens tomorrow. But we've gone sideways here so much. I mean, I doubt we get into 205. And at that point, I mean, depending on how many shares you have, like if you have 100 shares, maybe it's worth it to hold some. If you got 1,000, maybe it's worth it to hold some more. You know what I mean? So you just need to make a decision of like, what does this actually look like for you? And then go from there. All right. But this looks great. Walmart, I did not take Walmart here on the 29th. I think this was like a lot of big earnings names. This looked great, though. This is perfect. We should have grabbed that. That's my fault. Tesla, good drop down. I love this 416. I love this hold at 416. I want to see what we do here. I want to see what we do here. Does this hold and turn back up to go to 460, 470, 480? I'm really glad we just didn't gap. Like this was our earnings bar. I'm really glad we just didn't jump up here and miss it. I do like this hold. We've got support here, all through here, right? All this support. This has become resistance. Now we're back into it. The one thing I don't like is if we look at it from a trend standpoint, this is lower. If you look at it from a consolidation standpoint and a channeling standpoint, anomaly, and you're back into support. Everybody see that? So the question is, do we get a trigger here or not? If we do, and we come back up into 440, 460, 470, that'd be awesome. If this fails, I think we come to 380. So let's watch this. I don't want to short it by any means. I don't like these moving averages stacked either. That's not a good sign. Although with the channel, it's not, with a channeling pattern, you don't care that much about your moving averages. We got a nice 5-minute Harami forming on the ES. Right here. Trying to get back into these highs and then this level.
All right, bye-bye.
Trying to get back up here. This would be, if we took this, that's what you're looking for. If this breaks higher on the next bar. So about a 3-point risk to make 3 plus. All right, let's look at target. Great follow through from Friday's nice bar here. This is a longer term idea that we've talked about. At this point, I would like to see a little bit of a pullback into 105 and then kick up. So I'm not in this yet. I'd like a pullback here. Hold this 105. This is that gap open, right? So if we can go sideways a couple days, just like we did here in January, hold this level, turn back up, I would take this back into 111, 115 plus. So I'm not ready to take that yet. JP looks pretty good today. This could be an entry. And honestly, it wouldn't be that bad. And the reason I say it wouldn't be that bad, you've got a 3.5 risk to make 4 to the upside here, getting back up into that 319. Pretty decent looking channel. And you can see this would have been your entry Friday anyway, so you're only giving up 60 cents. Let's see how this holds. I'm going to add this to my end of day watch list. No trigger off that 5 minutes, so I'm going to cancel that order. I'm going to add JP Morgan here. UPS, great follow through. That's going to be a little extended for me. Apple looks fantastic here. This looks great. This is a transition on the daily. This is what we teach and talk about all the time. There's your downtrend, right? Here's your high, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, retest a high, pullback from earnings, rally. So what we'd want to see here is any pullback and rally is an entry. Any pullback and rally here would be an entry on Apple. I don't want to take it today because we're extended. I'm not going to chase it. We don't chase, we replace, we wait, get the move higher. AVGO also not bad today. Not bad today. Trying to hold that 328. I really want to get this back above 340 before I look for an entry. And then we get into this week's watch list. We've got XLV, healthcare. There's some individual names I'd rather look at, but I really like this 154 by 158 hold. This is going to be showing a trigger right now. I want to look at these individual names and actually see what they look like and see when their earnings are coming out. Western Alliance, strong move up. Strong move up. I really like that weekly here. I think they try to push up into 98. I mean, you were just cruising here. If this pushes and other banks, other regional banks push, this will be a good entry for IWM because all of these regional banks are part of the IWM. But you can see, I mean, this is a really nice hold. You've got that 143 here on XLK. Look at that this wedge. If this wedge resolves up, this is going to pop. So I like Western Alliance as an individual. I like that industry group. Schlumberger or SLB Limited now, as they're called. I do like this hold as well. Not a huge fan of this. I mean, this is a good turn from that 38. Huge January. 55 is your next quarterly target. 55 is your next monthly target. $52 is the next weekly. Real pretty downtrend, transition, uptrend. We still need the pullback for the weekly here. We've got it on the daily. This is the pullback on the daily. We don't have a trigger. If we can get a trigger here, I wouldn't mind taking a starter on this. Morgan Stanley. This looks pretty strong. Good hold. Nice weekly look. I'm probably going to push up into 195, 200. This will most likely be giving us a trigger as well. Most likely is going to be given a trigger. Let's see how this looks at the end of the day, though. We got to be careful of 190 gap and then 193, 195. LabCorp, I did like this from the weekly. Nice weekly Harami, bullish Harami. Struggling at 268. This is that gap wick. We tried to get the gap fill. Haven't got it yet. I wanted to see if we got follow through up. That's looking ugly. I'm going to give it one more day and then we'll take it off our list. Halliburton, great pullback. Oil looks great. Oil companies with a great pullback right now. GE Aerospace, this is an awesome doji sandwich. Nice bullish move. GE's been cranking all year. Follow through tomorrow might be a nice entry on this one. Ideal scenario would be open lower, break this 310. You're going to want to fill that gap and then see if we can't run all the way back up into like 320, 325. This is a little expensive at $300 a share. Pretty liquid here. What's our stop on this? 290 is the bigger stop. I do like 290 better. Look at all that. Support, 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 all that support. Good move up, good sideways hesitation. Follow through on this tomorrow. I could look at something here. Maybe we could use 300. That's not a bad risk reward. Okay, we'll look at like a credit spread, debit spread, and shares on that. Great jump on Crocs. Nice continuation move off this Hammer Harami. I like this 8150 too. Originally, we were hoping we came back into this channel at 73. If you zoom out a little bit, you'll see we've got this gap fill at 97 that we haven't gotten to. I know a lot of you guys took an entry trade at 812, made money, got back in, made money, got back in, made money. I think we all took this one and made money. But we have not broken this 8150. We're getting a good push. The downside is we got earnings coming up next week. Now that gives us 8 trading days. That gives us 8 trading days here. It's 5.5 to make 6.5. 9, 12, and eventually 19. I'm gonna put it on my list of end of day, but I don't know if I'll take it. I think there's prettier dance partners. Meta, gap up, pulling back. This could go fill the gap. Now, if this fills the gap, all right, if Meta fades and fills this gap, we hold, get a trigger, and bounce. I would not mind taking that as a move back up into like 711, 720, 740. And you may say, well, dude, why would you do that? Shouldn't it hold and turn? It could, for sure. Right? That would show a little bit more strength, but we know gaps like to get filled. And if we can fill the gap, that's a great potential bounce spot to get back up into, 673 to 700. That's a nice ROI. Nvidia has not had earnings yet. That's later in the month. It looks good. We're holding this 186, but this 186 by 192 honestly is a big battleground. And we've been battling here for a long time. Like this is going very, very sideways. Microsoft, this still is just sucking wind. Trying to get underneath here. Let's delete some of these. We are trying to get under 425. If we go under 425, we're going to try to fill that gap into 395. I would like to see this hold and cook turn up, but it doesn't look like it. Amazon's got earnings this week. Right now, they look fantastic. Earnings 2.5. This looks great. I want to see if we get that follow through push here. Google, it looks great. They've got earnings. 2.4. So what's that? Wednesday after the bell. I can't buy Google here, but if this goes the way of Microsoft on its earnings, you get this kind of a drop. What was this? Like 15%? 10%, almost 12.5%, closed down 10%. If you get that kind of a drop on Google, that's going to hurt the market. TSM looks fantastic. Natural Grocers. I really liked Natural Grocers here. This is a very pretty transition. There's your pullback. Here's the trigger up. We wanted to clear that 26. Earnings coming up this week. Can't do anything. We need to wait till after earnings. But this looks really nice. This looks really nice. Keep this on your watch list. This could be a potential longer term idea. As much as this has dropped, you're down 60% here. As much as this has dropped, this could be a longer term. I do want to see what earnings does. If it's a null event, which fingers crossed, what we'd like to see would kind of be this move up into 30, pull back into that 26. Honestly, if we go to 28, like if this could just hold 28, drop back to 26, but hold all of that resistance, then get a fresh trigger up. Now we're looking to get up into 32. Short draw strategy. You can't see it. Pull back on Iran. There's some Congress people trading that one. Pull back on Fang. Pull back on EOG. I like keeping SMR on my watch list radar. If you'll remember, we were watching this for a breakout of 21. We didn't want to chase 27, 21 here. Wanted to see that breakout. We were just waiting, very patient here. There's your follow through lower. I mean, this is getting hit hard. So, maybe nuclears or ran their course so far. CoreWeave, I do like. I really like this uptrend. I love this last week, and it got news from NVIDIA that they were putting in a couple billion into it. Great jump. I'd love to see 89 hold. And the reason is support, right? Support, resistance, 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 support. If we can support here again and get a trigger, maybe we get that push up into 100, 105, 110 one more time. I'd love to see this channel. I'd love to see this channel. I mean, 89 from back here is a great level. Decent level from back here. And honestly, you're still in trend. You're still in that trend. So it's not bad. Let's put this on the body. So let's see if that holds. COP has earnings. I can't do anything there. Chime Financial back in this potential support, right? This went from 25 up to 27, back down to 25. If this breaks lower, we'll take that off our list. RX, nice channel, great hold, kind of at the low here. Of what we'd like to see. XYZ back into 60. This was a great trade. This is a great trade. We took this trade. We were patient, took that target off, moved our stop, got out of it. Great trade. Let's see if we can rinse and repeat. Valaris. Verizon had stellar earnings. I want that back to 42. Rigetti's terrible. We'll take that off our list. QBTS, back in potential support. We'll hold that another few days. And Academy is not bad. I like Academy. The channel that we wanted to see was essentially 46 to 56. We traded that a lot. And maybe we do channel back down into it. What would be really cool would be to kind of make a new channel from 54 to 58. NNE, Dragon Wind. UNH not doing a lot here. Good rally on BJ. Great jump on Costco. Great jump on Costco here. This is just now giving us a trigger. The downside of this, A, it's crazy expensive. You've got a 4% risk and you're not making 4% to your target. So I'm not a huge fan of that. But you're probably going to try to shoot to 1,000 and extend this trend. Let's see what tomorrow brings on this. I'll add it to my watch list, end of day. I like BJ better. It's already moved though. Palantir earnings today. This will be interesting. If Palantir breaks this 147, we're probably dropping to 128, 183. This is a downtrend. If this is saved for whatever reason, then we could look at taking this back from 147 to 186. I don't know if it will be or not. They may announce some kind of government contract. I really have to edit on the days that we stream to YouTube. I forgot we've got a YouTube audience over here. I'm like, oh, I've got to say that. I'm not. I'm not going to say that. Nothing happened to Palantir. I was just thinking with the release of some files that the government dropped, if they could try to get a boost there. Have y'all read some of the stuff there? It is crazy. They've got earnings. Credo failing, that stinks. That was a pretty channel too. One of you guys brought this to us, and I was like, let's stalk this like a deer. Didn't work. I'm gonna take it off the list. Zoom, great follow through back up today. I like Zoom a lot. I really like this like giant candle on 126. 4% risk to our stop to make 4% to that previous high. Let's go to 100 on that. Let's see what this brings. I'm going to add this to the list. I don't know if I'm going to grab this one yet. I will add it to the list, and then I'll move everything up on the list in just a minute. Robotics still struggling. That's not bad at 18. Let's see if we get a trigger. That'll be a tomorrow top trade. They're getting hit. Oh, first watch. That was a good trade. Good stop too. And we're holding there. Okay. You wanted to look at Delta. We can look at Delta. If you got anything you want to look at, throw it in the chat. I'll be more than happy to look at it. That goes for you too, YouTube. If I can open the YouTube chat. I don't know how to do that. I don't even know if anybody's watching on YouTube. Great move up on Delta. Do I have any Delta pilots in the house? Any pilots in here? I know Bates is. I don't think he's here though. I learned some interesting stuff about pilots. They get paid by the hour and they make great money, but it's only hours that they're actually flying, like when the doors close. And I think that's garbage because they don't get paid for their pre-plane check, from what I just found out. I think that's trash. I want my pilot getting paid as soon as he walks onto the airport. You know what I'm saying? Like I want him to feel great. Got a doji sandwich on the ES30, NQ30. Follow through up here. Could be really nice. You don't have a 5-minute trigger for a lower risk trade yet, but could be really nice. I like Delta. I can't take it off this initial push. A pullback and hold of 67, I could. Let's add it to the list. Let's go look at a couple of these other airlines. I really like IWM with these because you got to think airlines, those are small caps. AAL looks awesome here. Great hold of 13. Delta looks way better. Southwest looks way better. I like Delta. I like this. I still think I would rather trade IWM. HST. I was thinking this would be Hostess brands and we could eat some Twinkies. But that doesn't work for Get Fit February, does it, Shamila? Get Fit February, we don't eat Twinkies. Unless it's made of iron and barbells. I like this. I do like this look. This is 2.75 to make 3-ish. I mean, so you're basically looking at a 1-to-1. You're basically looking at a 1-to-1 trying to get back up into 1930, then 20. It's not bad. I think there's prettier dance partners, but that's not bad. Twinkies in March to celebrate. Sure, if you want to do that. June. Go to June. June. Intel could fill the gap. Here's my problem with Intel. If you enter today, your stop is at least today's low. That's 8%. Your gap is about 10, right? So the bet here is that you get follow through to fill the gap. But look at this resistance at 49. I really want follow through here. So a better idea for me personally would be something like this tomorrow and then follow through. I don't want to buy off this huge candle. Like, I don't want that much risk personally, especially knowing 49's right overhead. So I would pass on this, but that's me. Love, we just looked at. This is great look. There's your risk is parabolic. Like that's parabolic, dude. You can't take this trade, in my opinion. This is chasing. You're up 70% in the last 13 weeks. That's crazy. I mean, you've got targets to go get to for sure, but I need a pullback. Any pullback here, 100% I'd take it. Any pullback here, absolutely. Right. Ideally, we would have gotten a pullback to start January out with back into 36 since that was such resistance. Then you move up. Didn't get it. Right. So here's your small pullback. This is your earnings. Boom. So now you're chasing this. Like your stop's way down here. I can't do anything with that. I just have to wait. I'd have to wait and be patient. So that's me. Sorry, Dennis. All right. Real quick recap. S&P looks fantastic. We are headed to 7,000 into. We want to go break all-time highs probably today. NASDAQ, not breaking the high yet. We still got room to go here. That's the target. Buyer's target is 823 on NASDAQ. You got about 25 points to go. They're going to want to do that on the Qs as well. Russell, we're trying to get a trigger here. We're about to get one. If we can close like this on the Russell, I would be looking to take IWM long with something. The downside is if the rest of the market dives because of Google or Amazon, the Russell could drop with it. But I like the risk reward. Now, another way to trade this, if you don't know how to do credit spreads and you don't know how to do all these other things, is you can go to our inverse watch list. And you can go down here to, I think, URTY. That's it. URTY. This is your alibi. It's ultimate shares here. You can see it's up 3.78 on the move. You got IWM here up 1.3. That means that URTY is a 3x ETF. So you're risking 3 times your normal risk. This would be a 6% risk to come up and make 10. Not bad. Not bad. All right. So you could try this. It's RSP. It's equal weight. Semiconductors. URTY. I think that's the only one. Is it DDM? That's the Dow. That's a short. High beta. Yeah. So URTY or IWM, those are your best options. Those are your best options. This is 63 bucks. So you can scale this really well also. Right. So $63 versus 260. That's 4. So you could scale URTY as a 3x. Basically every like 3 shares you would buy here is 1 URTY because of the risk. So be careful with that. All right. But I like this. I do like this. We'll wait till the end of the day and see if it triggers. If it does, I'm going to look at something there. IBRX pulling back just a little bit. This is fine. We've got our stop loss in. We never hit target. If we stop out, we stop out. Like Drago said, if he dies, he dies. Allstate looks fantastic. Take some gains. And then we're looking for other triggers everywhere else. So let's adapt our watch list. I'm going to add IWM. We like JP, Schlumberger, Crocs, Costco, Zoom, and Wi-Fi. These are all in our watch list. We're just moving them up the watch list. That's all we're doing here. Okay. So again, JP, this looks really good. That looks really good. Schlumberger looks pretty good. We need a trigger. Crocs. The Crocs just popped hard. We may need pullbacks on those two. Let's see what these look like. Let's see what these looks like. Or call me crazy, you just do IWM because if Crocs, Costco, Zoom, these names move, I think they're all in IWM anyway. I could be wrong in that, but I think they are. All right. Cool, man. Any other questions? Everybody good? Everybody happy? All right, a couple things. Again, Get Fit February. What we're going to do is add. Let me share my screen again. We're just going to add a room here in our learning portal. We'll say Get Fit February or Get Funded February. It'll be GFFFF, Get Fit Funded February. We'll add that here. I'll put some information if you want to do a prop firm with Apex. I'll put the information in here for you as well. So let's just add it real quick. Name, Get Fit Funded February. That look good? Get Fit and Funded Feb. Perfect. All right. Shamila, pick an icon. Pick an emoji for me. Shamila, what do you want it to look like? I'm gonna let you pick. Since you're putting everything out there for people. You still in here? You want an icon? Anybody want an icon? We can do dollar signs. Do we have a dollar sign? We don't have a dollar sign. Flex. We got a flex for our wins. Let's see. What do y'all want to do? We could do a fancy looking person. Animals, cars. Flex and a dollar sign. All right. See if we can do that. About diamonds, ladies. We'll do a money bag. Can I do both? See, we've already got a muscle. I can't do both. It won't let me. Man, that stinks. All right. What about diamonds? I like a diamond. We're all diamonds in the rough. That's what Jesus says. Treasure in earthen vessels. That's what Paul calls us. How about diamonds? We'll do it spiritual. I about chose the almost chose the underwear. Almost chose the underwear. Oh, we'll do diamonds. Great. Bam. There you go. If you want to be involved in this, jump in here and be like, I'm in, I'm game, whatever. And then we'll just keep posting who you are. You're like, hey, this today I walked a mile. I ran this. Here's my starting weight. Here's my goal. Whatever you want this to look like, okay? Whatever you want this to a trophy. Ooh, I like trophy. Mario, that's a great idea. We'll do a trophy because we're winning. Everybody wins. All right, trophy it is. Just gotta find it. I'll be here probably. Is that a trophy? I don't think so. I think that's a Congo. Money, money, money. Pills. We could do a cigarette. Forget fit. A djembe. That's what it's called. We're gonna have to use a diamond. I don't see a trophy. Or we could all do crowns because we're kings and queens. I do like trophy though. Oh, there we go. All right, we'll do a trophy. I like that. That way you win. All right, so if you want to be part of it, go for it. Throw your name in, go from there. All right, I love you guys. I'll update you on our DMU for everything else. As far as I'll update you on the DMU as far as where we're at on Allstate, IBEX, IWM, JP Morgan, things like that. If we get into any of those trades, so just keep an eye out for those. I love y'all. Y'all have an awesome day. YouTube, I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you guys.